Let's take a pixelated time machine back to when games were isometric, your mouse hand had calluses, and save scumming was a sacred ritual. These classics weren't about 4K ray-traced reflections or 10-hour tutorials. They dropped you into chaos with a rusty sword and said, "Good luck, hero." I mean, back when we're slaying demons, double-clicking barrels, or choosing dialogue options that accidentally started wars, these old-school gems packed more charm than a wizard's entire robe collection. So grab your potions, sharpen your sarcasm, and prepare to rediscover the 15 isometric masterpieces that made our childhoods magical and mildly traumatizing. Baldur's Gate, 1998. When your foster dad gets murked by a mysterious dude in spiky armor and the entire region's metal supply turns to brittle junk, you know it's going to be a long week. Set in a land where swords are rusting faster than your party members can complain, this adventure sends you packing from your bookish monastery life into a sprawling epic of prophecies, politics, and, naturally, murder god. You'll create a custom character and recruit a lively band of companions, some charming, some annoying, and one that talks like a squirrel's been whispering secrets into their brain. From sabotaging shady mines to exposing merchant conspiracies and even going toe-to-toe with your god-born half-brother, the journey plays out in a gorgeous, isometric view with addictive, pausable, real-time combat and a UI that feels like a medieval Excel sheet made fun. Diablo, 1996. Something's not quite right in this sleepy little town. The locals look like they haven't slept in weeks, the cathedral's got a hellish draft, and oh yeah, there's a literal gateway to the underworld beneath the floorboards. Hope you packed your courage and a sharp weapon, because things are about to get very demony, very fast. You'll start off picking one of 3 archetypes: sword-swinging meat tank, trap-savvy arrow machine, or gas cannon wizard who explodes everything in sight, usually including themselves. Then, it's a descent through 16 procedurally generated levels, from dusty crypts to infernal fire pits, all in pursuit of a red-horned nightmare with a voice like a gravel smoothie. The combat is addictively simple: click, slash, loot, repeat, but don't be fooled, this isn't mindless hacking. Item management becomes an art, with magical weapons, cursed gear, and the kind of potion chugging that would make a fantasy pharmacist weep. It's a game where death lurks around every corner and victory tastes like ashes, until you find that one rare ring that breaks the balance entirely.
Conrad, why do you hate synthetic?
Alien Breed, Impact, 2010. Nothing screams, "Welcome aboard," like your spaceship crashing into a haunted vessel overrun by insectoid death lizards. You're the unlucky engineer, tasked with not only surviving this cosmic bug buffet, but also fixing the very ship that's trying to kill you. Oh, and everything's on fire. Classic Space Monday. As you stomp through metallic corridors filled with flickering lights and bodies that forgot how to stay dead. Every level feels like a claustrophobic panic attack with a side of plasma grenades. The gameplay blends twin-stick shooting mayhem with survival horror tension, because nothing raises your blood pressure like running out of ammo in a corridor the width of a dental floss strip, while a screeching alien centipede tap dances toward your face. The upgrade system lets you loot your fallen crewmates, rest in pieces day, for cash to spend on bigger, badder weapons, while tactical customization gives you a fighting chance against the ever-growing horde. If solo terror isn't enough, you could drag a buddy into 2-player co-op and scream together as the ship's lights flicker ominously mid-battle.
war never changes. The Romans waged war to gather slaves and wealth. Spain built an empire from its lust for gold and territory.
Fallout, 1919. Thrust out into a nuclear-torched wasteland, with nothing but a jumpsuit, a pistol, and questionable optimism, your mission is to find a water chip before everyone back home dies of thirst or gets eaten by oversized roaches with a taste for vault meat. Exploration is king here. Deserts littered with radioactive mutants, towns full of twitchy survivors, and at least one cult that thinks glowing is a personality trait. Whether you talk, sneak, barter, or blast your way through the wasteland, every decision sticks. The game's turn-based combat lets you surgically shoot a mutant in the eyeball, while the special stat system ensures your build, dumb, smooth-talking, or a walking tank, drastically alters your gameplay flavor. The real crown jewel? The writing. Morality is messier than a mole rat stew, and most quests offer at least 3 ways to be a hero, a villain, or a grinning lunatic who solves everything with explosives. It's bleak, it's brutal, and it's one of the most gloriously open-ended RPG experiences ever dropped on unsuspecting players. Planescape Torment, 1999. Can you imagine waking up on a metal slab in a morgue, covered in tattoos that you definitely don't remember getting, while a floating skull cracks jokes about your latest death? No, this isn't a weird hangover. It's the start of one of the strangest, most existential role-playing journeys ever coded into pixels. You play an immortal with amnesia, wandering a multiversal city balanced atop an infinite spire, trying to answer one very chill, not at all loaded question. What can change the nature of a man? Combat? Optional. Violence? Debatable. Talking your way through the weirdest denizens of reality? Strongly encouraged. There's a brothel for intellectual conversation, a companion who's literally a flaming maniac, and a fiendish hag who might have broken your soul trying to grant you immortality. You know, standard quest stuff. The game throws Dungeons & Dragons out the window in all the best ways. You'll change classes mid-game, level up through smart dialogue choices, and earn XP for thinking rather than stabbing. Even dying isn't a setback. It's just a rude reset button with existential baggage. Neverwinter Nights 2, 2006. It starts with a village festival, a petty argument over your mysterious lineage, and before you know it, you're knee-deep in silver shards, political backstabbing, and a resurrected nightmare entity with king in his name and destroyer of empires on his resume. Ah yes, just your standard orphan becomes noble who battles ancient shadow lord kind of story. This adventure gives us hardcore Dungeons & Dragons 3.5 rules with drama levels that would make a bard blush. You'll build your hero from the ground up, managing stats, feats, and class choices like you're customizing a fantasy Excel sheet. The best part? You're not alone. You'll wrangle an eclectic party, from a punch-first dwarf with anger issues to a snarky tiefling rogue, each with their own drama and opinions. Some of them might even like you. Maybe. When you're not saving the Sword Coast, or chasing down reanimated corpse wizards, you'll be rebuilding a crumbling stronghold, managing taxes, hiring blacksmiths, and prepping for war. Because who doesn't love castle renovation between demon fights? Syndicate, 1993. When corporations run the world, elections are replaced with executions, and the only thing more cutthroat than board meetings are the cybernetic agents attending them. You're the faceless mastermind of a tech-drenched megacorp, sending chrome-laced assassins into the urban jungle to sabotage rivals, persuade civilians with mind-control guns, and casually ignite small-scale urban warfare on a Tuesday. The gameplay is pure tactical mayhem in isometric flavor. You command up to 4 trench-coated Terminators across neon-drenched cities, juggling high-stakes objectives like kidnapping scientists, persuading the local cops to switch teams mid-gunfight, or melting a rival CEO with a Gauss gun so powerful it basically fires black holes. Upgrades and weapons research keep things spicy. Flamethrowers, lasers, and cyborg limbs are just the beginning. But it's not just bullets and explosions. You'll also play economic overlord, taxing your conquered cities just enough to fund more murder bots without sparking uprisings. Unless, of course, you want another excuse to blow up the mall. XCOM UFO Defense, 1994. What if aliens start joyriding through Earth's skies and abducting cows like it's an interstellar hobby? Global leaders panic, and then they hire you. Congratulations, Commander. You now lead humanity's last hope against a galactic invasion, using a budget that barely covers snacks. Welcome to the most terrifying game of spreadsheets and squad deaths ever devised. You'll juggle research labs, build underground bases, intercept UFOs, and pray your rookie squad doesn't get eviscerated by floaty tentacle things on turn 2. The Geoscape layer is your world domination dashboard, managing funding nations, researching alien tech, and deciding whether to splurge on laser rifles or medkits this month. The Battlescape? That's where hope goes to die. It's a brutal turn-based kill zone full of permadeath, panic attacks, and those "oops, we accidentally blew up our own guy" moments.
I know, we just have to have your head about this.
Crusader No Remorse, 1995. He used to be the government's deadliest enforcer. Now, he's its biggest problem with a plasma rifle. When a red-armored super soldier says no to murdering civilians and defects to join a scrappy band of underfunded rebels, you get one of the most gloriously explosive rebellions in 90s games. Every mission here is a carnage-filled ballet of tactical chaos, where you can blow up just about everything, including toilets, vending machines, and the moral high ground. Alarms? Blazing. Guards? Toast. Security mechs? Better off as scrap. The moment-to-moment gameplay is a beautiful blend of smart positioning, keycard scavenging, trap dodging, and good old-fashioned thermite justice. Want to turn enemy turrets against their owners? Of course you can. Want to vault through a laser trap, blast a fuel barrel, and vaporize an entire squad? That's encouraged. But beneath the explosions and side rolls, there's a dystopian story where one soldier's disillusionment kicks off a silent war against an Orwellian mech. Between betrayals, orbital death lasers, and a corporate vendetta that goes full supervillain, you're in for a wild, flamethrower-laced ride. Ultima 7, The Black Gate, 1992. You return from Earth expecting a warm welcome and maybe a celebratory turkey leg. Instead, there's a ritual murder, a weird cult called the Fellowship, handing out free robes, and Magick is malfunctioning like someone spilled soda on reality. Welcome back, hero. Hope you brought your investigative hat. The story dives deep into conspiracy, philosophy, and cosmic dread. You play as the Avatar, tasked with unraveling a sinister plot involving 3 evil generators, multiple suspiciously nice cultists, and a giant red space head who wants to be your personal overlord. He also invades your desktop to tell you that charming guy. The gameplay? A sandbox of chaos. Want to bake bread, forge swords, or get blackout drunk and vomit in a tavern? Go for it. You'll drag and drop items, organize inventories with the finesse of a medieval Marie Kondo, and wrangle a party of AI allies who occasionally make questionable decisions, like switching to a butter knife mid-battle. Arcanum of Steamworks and Magick, Obscura, 2000. You survive a Zeppelin crash. A dying gnome shoves a mysterious ring into your hands, and before you can say steampunk Gandalf, you're being hunted by monocle-wearing ogres with a flair for aviation. Welcome to a world where elves hate trains, dwarves build rifles, and your tech backpack might literally explode if you cast a spell near. This genre-blending masterpiece throws you into a sprawling isometric sandbox, dripping with lore and moral grey zone. Want to be a half-ogre necromancer raised by wolves? You can. A gnome sniper who builds steam-powered prosthetics in his basement. Also doable. You'll balance your leanings between magic and tech, and if you try to mix both, good luck not spontaneously combusting. The quests? Deliciously messy. You can smooth talk your way out of battles, hack the enemy's robots to fight for you, or just burn everything down and loot the ashes. Morality actually matters too. Followers might leave if you're too stabby or too saintly. Siege 2, 2005. You start out as the loyal minion of an evil warlord, merrily pillaging the countryside until he literally vaporizes your best friend and betrays you. Classic bad guy etiquette. Left for dead and burned with a grudge hotter than your fireball spell, you team up with ragtag allies and a talking dryad, yes really, to stop a villain who wants to become a god, because of course he does. What unfolds is a click-happy, loot-stuffed action RPG that's as crunchy as it is charming. You'll pick a specialty, melee, ranged, or magic, and dive into a skills tree that lets you cook up deadly combos like archer-mage hybrids or elemental melee tanks. Combat flows in real time, but gives you just enough strategic depth to keep you from brainlessly clicking through everything, unless you want to. And you will want to when your blood-powered super moves start vaporizing entire screens of orcs. Want a pet? Feed it loot and watch it grow from house cat to battlefield beast. Want a party with personalities? Every hireable NPC has dialogue, side quests, and opinions, some snarkier than others. Sacred to Fallen Angel, 2008. What do you get when an ancient divine energy source starts acting like radioactive soup? Political factions go full soap opera, and every creature with a heartbeat wants a piece of the power pie. A fantasy world so unstable, even your character's alignment has to be chosen at the start. You begin your journey on either the light path, save the world, or the shadow path, wreck it on purpose. But regardless of your moral compass, you're in for a glorious mess of sword-swinging, spell-slinging, loot-hoarding chaos. Want to play as a machine gun-wielding robot dude in a fantasy setting? Sure. Prefer an ethereal angel slicing up orcs in stilettos? Also an option. There's even a dedicated quest involving a real-life power metal band who shreds so hard they canonically melt monsters. The world is massive, like, wait, this map has weather systems. Massive. And the quests range from epic to hilariously weird. You'll ride tigers, get ambushed by mutated chickens, and fireball your way through an open world brimming with secrets, dungeons, and T-energy-fueled horrors.
Get your sister. Take her to the church. Run!
Renegade Ops, 2011. If Michael Bay directed a Saturday morning cartoon and strapped it to a monster truck, you'd get something close to this glorious chaos fest. You're part of a squad of absolutely unhinged freedom fighters who solve every global crisis by blowing up half the continent and then parachuting into the explosion for fun. You'll take the wheel of a fully upgradable Deathmobile, each uniquely tuned for ballistic nonsense. Flamethrowers? Yes. Tesla cannons? Of course, a shockwave that turns enemy tanks into interpretive modern art. Standard issue. Missions unfold in massive destructible environments where everything's fair game. Enemy bases, bridges, and occasionally your own self-preservation instinct. It's not all pedal-to-the-metal mayhem though. There's XP to earn, skill trees to master, and a campaign that's surprisingly coherent given the number of things exploding every 5 seconds. Protect civilians, stop a nuclear warhead, or mow down an entire convoy solo. It's all about action, speed, and overkill. Divinity, 2002. Waking up in a healer's house with no idea who you are is already classic RPG energy, but things go from mild concussion to apocalyptic prophecy faster than you can loot your first potion. As the Chosen One, you're quickly tossed into undead catacombs, evil mage hijinks, political manipulation, and a world that's practically allergic to peace. The combat slaps in a deliciously old-school way, blending Diablo-style hacking with a pinch of open-ended stats and an every-class-can-learn-anything buffet that screams freedom. Want to be a backstabbing warrior who moonlights as a lock-picking wizard? Go wild. Nothing's stopping you but your own poor life choices and the occasional dragon rider trying to make your face one with the floor. Dialogue choices actually matter. Gasp. NPCs remember your deeds, and the world of Rivellon? It's loaded with barrels hiding loot, secrets, and sometimes deeply weird side quests. Oh, and there's a literal demon of lies posing as a child king trying to bring chaos incarnate into the world. So yeah, no pressure. Modern games may dazzle with shiny engines and cinematic cutscenes, but sometimes all you really need is a crunchy inventory screen and a top-down view of destiny calling you Chosen One for the 100th time. These 15 isometric legends prove that great gameplay, unforgettable worlds, and a dash of chaos never go out of style. If you haven't clicked your way through these pixelated epics yet, it's time to fix that. Roll for initiative, reload those mana bars, and remember, in these old-school worlds, every step forward might be your last, especially if you forgot to save.